Hey guys, hope you are doing well. I had a session with a coaching client the other day, and she mentioned that she wanted me to do a video to help educate, for want of a better word, educate pageant judges as to how to do the job. I'm not going to say properly, but maybe how to do the job a little bit, let's say, more effectively. And one of the things that I don't really like in the pageant space is, and you see this quite often, is this symptom of celebrity judges. And it's almost like some systems celebrate their judges more than they do their contestants. And I just think that's very backwards. I think you should be putting, speaking as a potential future director myself, I really think you need to put the contestants first, number one. And that's before sponsors, that's before yourself as a director, and that's certainly before judges. If you think of, let's take a sport such as gymnastics or ice skating, and you never hear, you never, you don't have the judges, let's say, stand up at the beginning and get applause, or they don't announce the judges. I mean, maybe they do, but there's not this giant sort of celebration or build up about, hey, look at our system. The best part about our system is look who we've got judging it. I think if you are building limelight through marketing or getting eyeballs through marketing, wow, that's a cockatoo. What was I say? If you are building an audience, I think you owe it to your contestants who are paying for your system to shine that limelight on them, not on your judges. Now, having said that, if you're watching this and you have been asked to judge, there's a couple of things that I would say I would encourage you to do so that you make a more effective judge. And when I say effective, I think this is really important. I mean, it's nothing to do with getting your favorite to win, okay? Let's get that out of the way. You should not have, I mean, you can have a favorite, but if you know someone personally, for example, or a friend competing, I think you should recuse yourself from judging duties because you can't do that objectively. Some people could do that better than others, arguably. But it's the same reason why they don't allow doctors, for example, to operate on their family members. It's because they can't trust you to be objective and impartial. I mean, how could you if you're operating on a family member or a loved one? And that tends to, in pressure situations, not go well. It affects your judgment process. So it's nothing to do with picking your favorite. What it has to do when I say effective judging is, and this is my definition, it's picking the best candidate to fulfill the pageant's advocacy or the vision of the pageant. So as an example, if you have, and this is the easiest example, if you take a pageant such as Miss Earth, which has an environmental advocacy, you're probably not going to want someone who's, let's say, a climate change denier to be your title holder. It's just not going to go very well. There's going to be cross purposes there. So I think your role as a judge is to help pick the best girl for the particular system. Now that can vary from system to system, but I also think that you should really only be judging with a system whose values align with your own. So taking again the example of Miss Earth, if you yourself are a climate change denier, then you probably should recuse yourself from judging duties if you were invited in the first place, because your values probably are so misaligned with the systems that I think you would make, let's just say I think there'd be better people who would better fill that role as a judge. Now, of course, look, I'm not going to tell you which values are the right ones to have. That's your business. But I think as a judge, you want to, an effective judge, my definition is they're good at picking the best candidate for the particular system. And I think the easiest way to make sure that happens is if your personal values as a judge are aligned with the system in question, as best as you can make sure anyway. Now, going a step beyond that, if you really are going to take your job, your role as a judge seriously, I think you should be doing some homework, if that's possible. Now, you say, well, what do I mean by homework? Well, the easiest and most obvious low-hanging fruit is to go on the social media of the contestants and have a look. Now, you're not looking for, oh, this girl's so pretty, or this girl's got an amazing gown. What you're looking for is, what does this girl stand for? And any sort of green flags or any red flags. Now, red flags, for example, are girls who have a huge following but maybe only have 10 posts. Now, there could be any number of reasons for that, but you have to figure probably it's either they've gotten rid of a whole bunch of posts because they were personal, in which case, okay, or maybe they were inappropriate. Maybe they were operating on OnlyFans or something like that. And in which case you should be going, okay, why do you have 80,000 followers but you only have 10 posts? And I think you should be asking that maybe in the interview to see if there's an explanation. I mean, it's possible that you could be mega famous off the back of only 10 posts, but I think you should be looking for red flags. That certainly is one. Someone with a lot of followers who seems to not post. Another red flag is someone who's always talking about their passion, how passionate they are about their advocacy. And yet when you go and look at their social media, there's not a single post about it. Or they say they're passionate about their advocacy, and they only start posting about it right about the same time that they entered the pageant, or right about the time that it sort of was, let's say, 2 or 3 months in the lead up to the pageant, and suddenly now they're posting about the environment or ending world hunger or whatever it is. And then if you can look far back enough, if they didn't win that pageant, or even if they did they suddenly stop posting about it and going back to posting photos about bikini, 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 bikini? You know, nothing wrong with bikini, but I'm confused. This should be a red flag to you if you have a even mildly quizzical and inquiring mind. It's like, I thought said you were so passionate about this cause, and yet you only posted about it in the lead up to the pageant, and then when you didn't win the pageant, you never posted about it again. And now you've entered a different pageant, and now you're suddenly passionately, in love with this advocacy, and you posted about it, and then you didn't win that pageant, and then you never posted about it again. And then it repeats. And I know you know what I'm talking about, and I know you've seen people do this who seem to have a different passion every year, because every year they enter a different pageant, although some people enter more than one pageant a year. But if you even have a cursory glance at someone's social media, it doesn't take that much to figure some of these things out. And you might say, well, Adrian, there's 80 contestants and I don't have the time to do it. Well, then maybe you shouldn't be judging. If you really want to take this seriously, and by seriously I mean the girls, most of them are taking it seriously. They're putting in a lot of time, effort and money into pursuing this dream of theirs. As a director, I would not want to pick a judge who jeopardized that by not taking their judging duties seriously. And this is why I keep saying, number one, the girls have to come first. The contestants have to come first. And I've had comments from judges underneath some of my posts saying, I've suggested maybe, the 3-minute interview is not long enough, and maybe interviews should be longer. Maybe it doesn't need to be the in-person interviews. Maybe you have interviews, remote interviews or virtual interviews beforehand. But she said literally, well, I can't stand listening for 3 minutes. If we listened for 5 minutes, if we had interviews that were 5 minutes long, we'd all be falling asleep or something to that effect. And my immediate response to that was, well, I don't think you should be judging then, should you? I don't think you certainly should be a director, but there's no way in hell, in God's green earth, that I'm going to have you as a judge when you see the interview basically as a waste of time and you're going to fall asleep. So in terms of effective judging, I think that is, number one, is do your homework on the contestants and look for red flags. Don't jump to conclusions. As I said, just because someone only seems to have fewer posts for their social following, it doesn't mean there's a sinister reason for that. There could be all sorts of reasonable explanations. They might have had their account cancelled or suspended for reasons that had nothing to do with them. It was just an error, as happened to me. But it's something that you can put a note down if you get a chance in the interview to ask them, and rather than going, oh, what sort of interview question should I ask? Make it something that's very pertinent to them. So rather than saying, oh, why, they're all going to get asked, why should we pick you to be our title holder? Probably. But maybe you can ask a more specific question, and that will give the girl a chance to show their title holder material or not. Maybe they'd be surprised when you find out that they have so few posts for the amount of social following, and maybe you've caught them out. Maybe they were posting up a lot of inappropriate material and they don't have a good explanation for it. You will find that out, and then that will make you, it's not a question of, oh, you found a bad person. No. What it is a question of, you found someone who's not probably going to be the best title holder for this pageant system. And again, I'm not going to impose any of my values on you. That's a question, that's a discussion for yourself and your loved ones. But in terms of, look at what the pageant stands for. Do you align with that? If yes, proceed. If no, politely refuse. And then if you do align with the pageant value systems and you do decide to proceed, if it's possible, have a look at the contestants' social media or website that you'll be judging and see if you can see any, not just red flags. This is not like going on it's not becoming an investigative journalist, although sometimes it certainly can feel like that. It's about finding out about the contestants so you can ask really, really good personalized questions that will give the girl, the contestant, a chance to either show yes, they are a good candidate, or no, maybe there are ones that are better suited for the job of a title holder. And again, the girls put in, you guys, the contestants, put in so much time and effort and money into pursuing this dream of yours. As a director, I would be making damn sure that I was picking judges, not because they're Z-list celebrities, but because they are qualified. They know what it's like, they know how much hard work you've put in, and they're going to take that seriously. That's basically what I'm saying. Because a lot of people, a lot of the public will look at pageant contestants and just assume they've done no work. And look, sometimes that is the case, but I'm going to just go with the 80%, let's say, who do take it seriously as a pageant contestant, do put in the hard work. And I want to see that hard work honored in as best a way as possible. And until the day comes around when we have complete transparency in pageant scoring, which, I wouldn't be holding my breath for it. I think we're gradually moving in that direction, but I don't know if we'll ever get there. But until we get to that magical nirvana of transparent scoring and knowing why someone judged you the way they did, until we get there, I think the best that we can hope for is judges who take their job seriously and see it as the duty and responsibility it is, rather than some chance to show how much of an expert or a Z-list celebrity that they are, or failed reality TV show star, whatever it is, okay? So that is all I have on the topic of pageant judging. Pick judges who are going to do justice to the hard work that hopefully most, if not all, of your contestants are doing. Don't pick them because you think, oh, it's going to, boost our ratings or get additional ticket sales. I mean, I understand that pageantry is a business and that you do need money, but surely there is some middle ground where you can find people who, yes, maybe they're well known and respected, but yes, they actually know how to do the judging job properly and are going to put in the hard work to make sure that you, as a director, get the best title holder you can, or you as a contestant are going to make sure that they give you the best chance possible, all things being equal. So I hope that makes some sense. If you're watching this as a judge, make sure you're judging for a system that you align with, because otherwise I don't think you can do that. I don't think you can do that job properly. And then go do some homework. And look, if you are a contestant watching this, make sure your social media is up to scratch and make sure that you actually are putting your money where your mouth is. And if you're a director watching this, pick judges who are going to do the job properly, to do honor and justice to the hard work that your contestants are putting in. So I hope that all makes sense. Feel free to let me know what you think in the comments below, and I will speak to you next time.